Anonymous. State of corruption. Breaking news. After the Nunes memo has been released, there is now crystal clear evidence that everything me and Mike Gill has been telling you about is true. The FBI and the IRS will spy on you, no matter how illegal it is. The FBI and the IRS are clearly working with Gene Shaheen to corrupt the state of New Hampshire. They are traitors of our government. Instead of helping our citizens, they have neglected them. The FBI, the IRS, as well as many other government agencies in the state, have all organized a plan put a mole in Mike Gill's mortgage specialist's office. They all know how much Mike Gill knows how deep the corruption really goes in the state of New Hampshire. As I have said numerous times and I will reiterate this, Mike Gill has gone to the FBI many times personally to deliver evidence. All the times he went, they never once answered the door for him. When he mailed his evidence to them, they all literally threw it back at him, and refused to do an investigation. He had pages of evidence, not just one little piece of paper. This FBI are clearly coordinating their efforts with the corrupt judges, politicians, and law firms in the state of New Hampshire to protect the drug dealers. When Mike Gill went to drop off his evidence, he even sat on a chair in front of the FBI's office, waiting all day to speak to an FBI agent, and not one FBI agent came out to speak with him. He knew that the FBI were home because there were a parking lot filled with cars outside of the building. He even has given his evidence to the U.S. Attorney in Bedford, New Hampshire. Mike Gill asked the U.S. Attorney if he wanted the information of the courier who was working for AutoFare, and transferring money and drugs for the drug dealers, from New Hampshire to New York. The U.S. Attorney declined his offer. No good U.S. Attorney in this country would decline to talk with a direct character witness, who has direct evidence of the drug dealer's activities, as well as hard physical evidence. It doesn't get any more corrupt than that. Why would you decline to meet with a character witness who is a courier for the drug dealers? Because he already was sold off by the corrupt in the state. After Mike delivered his evidence to U.S. Attorney Farley, he delivered it back. This proves how much the corrupt has infected this state. A U.S. attorney that refuses to investigate a crime with a huge amount of evidence, and throws it back at the person reporting the crime, is clear evidence of corruption in the state of New Hampshire. When Mike Gill went to Washington State, he was followed by the FBI, because they already knew who he was, and why he was there. The corrupt from the state of New Hampshire told the FBI that Mike Gill was going to be in Washington, so they sent an informant to investigate his activities. This was a massive cover-up planned by the government, to protect the corruption in New Hampshire. The FBI are protecting the corruption of the drug dealers, the corruption in our courts, the politicians, the major law firms, and the top multi-million-dollar businesses. Mike Gill even gave his evidence to U.S. Attorney Lelling, who ended up giving his evidence to the FBI. How much do you want to bet that the FBI will throw back his evidence at Mike Gill again? The corruption in the state of New Hampshire is the base of operation for corruption all across the United States of America. New Hampshire is the headquarters, where the corrupt give orders to corrupt all of the other states across the country. The IRS is on the release who offered Mike Gill $50 million to extort him. Watch this recent video of Mike Gill and you will see just how corrupt the state of New Hampshire really is. Anonymous. State of corruption. Remember, I am anonymous. You can't sue me. I have no legal address. Let's end corruption in the state of New Hampshire. You better expect it to end.
Mike Gill, state of corruption. FBI, Federal Bureau of Investigation. The president has called them treasonous. I'm telling you, with hard evidence, that they are. What does FBI stand for? Well, the F is for fidelity, meaning loyalty. B is in bravery, and I is integrity. That's on the FBI website. That's the description of themselves. Really? Now, I've given you pieces and blocks in these last few videos. And you remember the block that I gave you nominated by the president. That was U.S. Attorney Lullen in Massachusetts. Now I want you to go back to that video, and I've linked it to this, where I've photographed all the evidence that Attorney Lullen was given. Completely conclusive. It would show the corruption in the IRS. We had a recording of Tim Campus, the highest level of the IRS, Tom Morley, the mailing fraud. They had an accountant that never worked for me get me my mail. All right? You hear them say they have a plan in my office. This should be national news. This is the highest level of the IRS, organized and constructed by Bill Shaheen and his senator wife, Jean Shaheen. This should have her arrested. Along with, we gave them the information from all those law firms that are now suing me, that I was suing them. And they had Liberty Mutually put spies in my company. The law firm that was representing me, Morris Mahoney, absolute clear that they had a conflict with Liberty. They were their biggest offender. Okay? Now I gave them originals. Now you've seen me give them originals. Now I know a lot of you were concerned about those originals. But if you're going fishing, you need to put bait on a hook. And they wanted those now. We're in the past. And you will see a composite on how many times I've been to the FBI in Bedford, New Hampshire. FBI agent Hasselbecker. And you know what they did with that information? They mailed it back. You've seen how many times I've knocked on that door. I even brought a chair one time and stood outside that door when there was a parking lot full of cars and people who worked for the FBI. You've seen me go to the U.S. Attorney in Bedford, New Hampshire, again, who represents and prosecutes the case of the FBI. I asked him if he wanted the name of the courier from New Hampshire to New York who were working for AutoFare and transferring money and drugs. He goes, no thanks. Farley, that's right. And you heard me in telephone conversations talking to them. And you know what they did? Took the same information and gave it right back to me, mailed it back. You've all seen that in videos. And again, all these times I've been to the FBI, you can see on videotape. A small composite will be added to the end of this video. You've seen me go to Washington, met outside with 2 FBI agents, one of which followed me for a week. The older man in the back. Right. And they knew exactly who I was. Knew exactly what I have. This is a massive, massive cover-up to protect the corruption, the drug dealers, the corruption in our courts, our politicians. Who else would have that juice? So I want you to understand that the information I give Lullen, they have. Now since then, you've seen me put a video out, Key to the Vault. I told you where the corrupt, the cartels, the corrupt politicians are hiding their money. I am showing you through the banking department who is protecting them, and Commissioner Little. Guess what? Now that we've opened the door to Lullen, I sent him that information too. Completely conclusive. And remember in that video, you've seen that evidence. Again, I documented the evidence with you. Lullen had that. Now, you know what Lullen did? He gave us a letter. Said he transferred it to the FBI in Boston. We've already given it to them. You own that, Lullen. We gave him the information of the banking. We got another letter back saying he moved that to the FBI. Do you know what's funny with both letters? They were unsigned. That's right. How's that for a cover-up? President Trump, you nominated this U.S. attorney. We have the evidence to put these people in jail, to open up cases of corruption throughout our states, all our states. This involves the IRS, that's federal. Liberty Mutual, they're national. And the network of corruption in my state is the network of corruption that works through all these states, and they use the same means to hide the money. And last week, I gave you another building block, judicial mafia. I told you how this network runs. Watch that video. I name names. This is what the FBI is protecting. And I'm going to, you could see the list and the 50 million that they offered me. But I want you to look carefully. And I'm going to repost it till you see this. But look who was asking for releases. Divine Millimat, who we're in a court with, who were leveraging me, trying to put me in jail. They offered that money. The Internal Revenue Service, how many of you, through the IRS, wants a release? And what could it be for if it isn't corruption? The New Hampshire Banking Department and Commission. Oh, they want a release because I caught them with fraud. I've caught them leveraging me, and I caught them laundering money. Why else? So I'm asking everyone out there, watch these videos, even these clips. There's no question of their guilt. Their confidence and their arrogance is what's going to catch them. It's a different world. And one of the reasons why Lullen, which he's a corrupt son of a bitch himself, took that evidence, and they're fearful of the president. Now, I don't care if you hate President Trump or you love President Trump. I am telling you, he's making them nervous. And at this moment, we can turn around, and he talks about draining the swamp. He's calling the drug a national epidemic. Well, it starts here. President Trump, I implore you to investigate. Keep making them nervous. Please stay and watch some of these other pieces that I've added here. And you've seen how many times I've knocked on that door. Mike Gill, State of Corruption. They want evidence. Let's give them evidence. Hello, this is Mike Gill. I got an arm full of evidence that'll put drug dealers in jail and corrupt politicians. Could you open the door, please? I still say they might open it.
Can I help you?
Yes, I have some evidence to drop off. Oh, we're assuming somebody's home. Oh, I know. See, now they're scurrying around going, what the hell are we going to do? He's here with the witness, evidence. We don't want to be on camera, right? See, the last time I was here, we made it through the door. There's a metal detector. When I wanted to show the two FBI agents the threats to my children's lives, they wouldn't touch the phone. Except for I picked it up, threw it through the metal detector, only have the detective catch it, and then pick it up and slide it in my pocket. They don't like fingerprints. Or answering the door. Do you know if there's anybody home?
I live next door. Maybe there's a bell?
I'm ringing the bell. Knocking on the door. It's a good thing it's an emergency. Nobody noticed? How about the appraisers? They only had 9 to 10 appraisers on each house. Where did they go to jail? Where did the lawyers go to jail in closing them? They were covering for Sununu. Sununu is part of that Ponzi scheme. And that's why, Shaheen, we're right about the rest of you. And if you'd like to see the text messages, oh, right. So you didn't text Mr. Abar. You didn't talk about FRN women, did you? Right. So we do have the evidence, and it is with the Department of Justice, and I demand that this committee has to review this, has to go into it. Go and investigate those banks. Listen, did you notice the drug dealers didn't want to sue me? Call me a drug dealer and see if I don't sue you, right? And everything I'm saying about you and you, I can verify, right? That's the play. There's no mistakes here. An insurance defender is the banking commissioner. Listen, I have fault consent orders from these people. They've offered me $50 million to be quiet. Now I have that. I put it on the internet. You'd like to see it, Mr. Sanu? Would you like to see it? No, I didn't think so. So it's all there. Liberty International. Right. All I have to do is be quiet. But they're protecting the people that are killing our children. They own a treatment center. This is involved. This is the laundering of that money. Any questions? I didn't think so. Now this is after 22 minutes. It was like someone said, fire. Oh, here we go, get ready. Are they coming down?
No one's coming down, so I'm told to...
I'm sorry, what was that?
No one's coming down. They said you have to have an appointment set up so that
You getting all this?
That's fine. So that you
So it
can
is legal.
make an appointment with them. So
Make
they
an
can
appointment
have
with
a
your call.
meeting with you.
We said 1,000
Sir,
times.
I don't even know what the problem is. I'm just telling
The
you.
problem is it's corrupt. And you're hearing this? See all the donations to Judicial Watch? This is what your money buys. You see where all those calls?
Contact you by mail. That's
No one's contacted us, and they're not going to contact us. Right. There you go. You see? So if you're donating to these animals, you're making a mistake. It's a lie. Now let's go to the Department of Justice. Millions of people see what I heard. Yeah, so the Department of Justice, if you could. I have a thing on state of corruption, fight corruption. I have evidence here of a drug cartel, big Senate race. They try to murder me for this. So I need to see somebody right away. No, but we've called, and I told them I was coming down. But it's essential. Because this thing here about a hitman who's hired to murder me, didn't take the contract. The drug cartel, I've got their lawyers, I've got their money, I've got their banks. Listen, I own the largest mortgage company in the United States. All right, so I was also thoroughbred racing world champion. So I'm not some guy who fell off a turnip truck. What I did was I discovered this corruption. Through the banking department, they were protecting drug banks and laundering. So what I did was I caught that. And I caught the drug cartel behind it. That's why they lost it. I am telling you, we have evidence that they tried to murder me on 3 different occasions. One on video. A 6'7" Russian nationalist broke in my room. Now I have the video and a contract on my life right now. Now I have got to give this evidence to somebody before I wind up dead. We've called 1,000 times. My videos go 4 and 5 million people have asked to see it. It's extremely political, but again, it's the cartel. You can listen to an audio of a guy who's saying he's going to murder me. All I need is to drop this and give it to somebody. I'm going to wind up dead, you understand? Listen, the drug cartel, a fixed Senate race. The cartel fixed the New Hampshire Senate race. Bill Shaheen, Gene Shaheen, the Democratic president, senator, that race was fixed.
And so what state are you coming from?
New Hampshire. New Hampshire.
Did you go to the local authorities?
The local authorities are in on it. The FBI, Kakavas, is in on it. Right now, I'm in trial with the cartel for $114 million today. I'm not at trial. I'm here giving you the information. What I'm telling you is, you see on the website, State of Corruption, you see it in writing. I turned down $50 million. In writing, signed. Now, who turns down, who offers $50 million for being wrong? I'm trying to do the right thing here. We have the worst heroin problem in America, New Hampshire. It's because our government is corrupt in the state. No kidding. Worse than any other place. And I have this. So if I can give this to somebody.
That's the thing. We just don't have like a drop-off type of.
But even if one agent came out, I could talk to him for 5 minutes and hand him to this. I mean, we'd be making a little history here. Just an agent, 5 minutes.
Please don't forget to like my video and subscribe to my channel. I am not affiliated with Mike Gill or his organization State of Corruption New Hampshire. I am anonymous State of Corruption. Please like, follow, and support Mike Gill on his social media pages. Thank you.